Hi, 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 hi. Hello. Hello, our followers. Welcome to Napoleon Philos TV. This is Teacher Napoleon. Okay. Today we are going to continue with history, but today we are not going to teach in Kinyarwanda. We are going to use English as usual. So, without wasting our time, we are going to talk about European colonization of Africa. European colonization of Africa. So, before moving to this topic, it is very important to know the meaning of colonization. When we say colonization, refers to a situation or a condition. A situation or condition in which powerful country rule or control a weak one and establish its own economic activities or trade for economic gain. During 19th century, whole African countries were in colonization except for only two countries which were not in colonization, that is Liberia and Ethiopia. Ethiopia. So, in this topic of European colonization of Africa, we shall talk about different causes of European colonization in Africa, methods of colonial conquest of Africa, colonial system of administration used by colonialists, and also we shall focus on consequences of European colonization of Africa or in Africa. So let's begin with different causes of European colonization in Africa. There are different factors which pushed Europeans to come in Africa. That is what we are going to talk about in this moment. First, there was need for raw materials. Wanting raw materials is a key factor which pushed or which pulled Europeans to come in Africa. They need raw materials for their home industries. Remember, during that period, there was expansion of industries in Europe. Therefore, with exhaustion of raw materials in Europe, they decided to come in Africa to find raw materials for their home industries. There was a need for market. They need market for their finished products or manufactured products, since the markets which were in Europe were not enough to consume products produced by their industries. That is why they took the decision to come in Africa for searching market for their own manufactured products. They come in Africa in order to find settlement. In Europe, there was problems of overpopulation. So, the Europeans took a decision to come in Africa for searching new land for settlement. Another thing which attracted Europeans, they need to civilize Africans. Europeans considered Africa or our continent as a dark continent. Therefore, they come in Africa for teaching them how to write and read. They also introduced European culture in Africa. For example, the culture of dressing and eating feeding habits. Because Europeans, they believed that their culture was the best one. Yeah. They also need to spread Christianity in Africa, so as to save Africans from the hell. They need to evangelize or spread Christianity in Africa in order to save Africans from hell. Yeah. Another thing which attracted Europeans to come in Africa, they need to stop slave trade and slavery in Africa in order to respect what we call a human life. Therefore, they wanted area where they could invest. They need area or place where they could invest their surplus capital. So, in Europe, during that period, investing surplus capital, it was not profitable. It was not profitable because there was competition in Europe. That is why they took a decision to come in Africa to invest their surplus capital. So they also need a cheap. They also need a cheap labor force. They need a cheap labor force to work there in their industries and farms. That is why they come in Africa in order to find a cheap labor which could work in their industries, in their farms. Yeah. Okay. Followers, let's conclude our lesson. In the beginning, we have talked about the meaning of colonization. The meaning of colonization as a condition or a situation in which powerful countries control a weak one and establish its own trade or economic activities for the purpose of economic gain. And I have told you that during the 19th centuries, whole African countries were in colonization except for only two African countries not colonized, that is Liberia and Ethiopia. We have talked about on the different causes of European colonization, including the need of raw materials, market, and they wanted a land for settlement. They also needed to civilize Africans through teaching them how to read and to write. Okay, and so on. Therefore, thanks to Europeans who come in Africa, on one side, they did a good achievement, but on the other side, they don't bring, or they didn't brought good spirit in Africans, because sometimes, let's take an example in Rwanda. You know, in Rwanda we have colonized by Belgium, and you know, Belgians in Rwanda introduced the policy of divide and rule, which led to division among Rwandans, and also which led to outbreak of 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. Therefore, on one side, Europeans did good things or something or achievement, but on the other side, no, they did not play a good role in our society. Thank you very much. We shall meet in the next session, where we will talk about only different methods used by Europeans to conquer African countries. Our followers enjoyed the course. Thank you very much.